Pastor Elario Davis.
I'm Pastor Dennis McCullough.
We are the hosts of your Bible study series, Words of Wisdom. In 2 Timothy 3:16, God reminds us that all scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof,
For correction and for instruction in righteousness.
Words of Wisdom is a specially designed program brought to you by ATN in an effort to share the Advent message to our friends and faithful viewers who are yearning to build a growing and saving relationship with Jesus Christ. If you want to learn more about our rich Adventist heritage, basic fundamental beliefs, counsel on courtship and marriage,
Or simply a deeper study of God's written word, then join us Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. on our Facebook and YouTube pages, as well as Channel 98 on Central TV. Join in and be a part of this special Bible studies effort by praying that God continues to lead and bless this ministry, by becoming a faithful viewer and inviting your friends and family to like and share our programs, by your kind donations and of course your generous financial contributions. Contact us at 416139351 or send us an email at atn@cbm.belizeunion.org. We are located at 10 3/4 miles Philip Golson Highway. Thank you for being a part of the ATN ministry. It is our prayer that you will keep the book of the law always on your lips.
meditate on it day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to that which is written therein. Then thou shalt make thy way prosperous and have good success.
Pathfinders from all over the globe, are you ready for World Pathfinder Day 2022? Every day, we should be Pathfinders who want to make a difference and share Jesus' love with others. This year, we are challenging you, Pathfinder, to change the world. You must be fearless, you must be committed, and above all, you must trust in God. He is the one who has called you to go and share the beauty of the gospel, to go and change lives with His love. We know that you can change the world. You are Pathfinder strong. See you all September 17th, 2022 for World Pathfinder Day.
And thank you for joining us once again for Youth Come Alive. I'm your host, Jalen Pascascio, and with me are your faithful co-hosts,
Aislinn Murillo
and Kayla Escliano.
Thank you for being here, guys. It's great to see you.
I know, right? It's been a week. It's been a
very long week. With us this evening are the Ortiz Twins. I'll have them introduce themselves because I have a problem remembering the names.
Hold on, I try to figure it out. You da Noammi? Are you da Noammi?
No.
Oh,
This is why I'm in a date myself.
I tried.
Noammi and Noemi.
Right, thank you guys for being here. We're continuing in our series as God wants me to be successful. Our topic of discussion this evening is roaming in strange lands. Sounds kind of mysterious, right?
Yeah.
Very mysterious. It's giving suspense.
Right.
To kick off our discussion, we reached out to some youths, and you'll hear from one of them right now about their experience roaming in a strange land.
Good afternoon. Well, it's afternoon where I am right now. My name is Mark Ellie Saint Far, and I am from Nassau, the Bahamas. Some people call it New Providence, but Nassau, the Bahamas, same place. The school I attend is NCU, the NCU, Northern Caribbean University. So I was given some questions. I'm going to answer these real quick. So how did I adjust to the new environment and make new friends? The thing with me is that I'm a very outgoing person. I'm a very extroverted person. So if I can give some advice on how you can adjust to a new environment, just be outgoing and be ready to try new things, to mingle, make new friends, be open, and everything should be fine for you. You don't get adjusted to things by just being in your own little closet or own space. You got to get out there and just enjoy the vibes, make new friends, talk to new people, get involved. All those things, those helped me to, adjust to the environment. There are a few things that I still have to, catch up on because, from the Bahamas to Jamaica, it's two different cultures, two different dialects, Jamaican Patois and Bahamian dialect, but it's getting there. How did I manage school life? Coming straight out of high school life wasn't entirely something hard to manage because, like I said, just coming straight out of high school. However, the workload, the school life, it did increase, obviously, because it's university. The workload will increase. The time you'll have to yourself, speaking about personal life now, the time you'll have to yourself and your own, let's say, for example, side hustles or your own things you have going on that may come to a minimum because, schoolwork will pile up on you when you least expect it. And also, how did I manage my personal life and God while being an NCU student? Well, attending a Christian university enhanced that a lot, that aspect of me, my spiritual aspect, obviously, for reasons, because one, NCU is not only a school where you can go to learn or master your craft, but it helps to enhance your spiritualness. It helps you gain knowledge of who and what God is. You can do this by getting involved in things like choir, going to church, getting involved in youth activities that NCU does have, the after church vibe. People that are watching this probably know what I'm talking about, but yeah, that's basically it.
Yes, and that was our friend from the Bahamas, Mark, that was talking about his experience of how he dealt with roaming in strange lands. And speaking of roaming in strange lands, we have our two guests on our show this evening that will be talking about their experience. You don't want to say they were in a strange land because it was the first time you guys went there. So tell us your experience of being in a new environment for the first time.
Well, being in a new environment for the first time, everything's new. You don't really know about anywhere, you don't know about any place, and for us, we didn't know anybody. So it's not like we had family or anybody there. The only person I knew was Noammi. So it was a whole new experience, but something that we had to go through for ourselves to, to grow, both spiritually, mentally, and, in all aspects.
Okay, and where were you guys?
We're at the University of West Indies.
In Jamaica.
Right. The place of the Akansa fish and the chicken and the curry goats. Right.
Yes, and being there, how did you guys, really cope with, probably balancing your personal life, your school life, and God?
Okay, that was a challenge. The first school, I always knew myself to be like a good student, and the expectation was totally different. So I had to drop that in God's hand, one. Then when it comes to like our spiritual life, actually sorted that out like for myself. Like I experienced it for myself. There is where I learned daily devotion, learned to pray for friends, ask friends to pray for me. They had Adventist group on campus.
Yeah, like a fellowship. So
Yeah.
it's filled with a lot of Adventist students, you know, that are there. So they have like, different activities, different spiritual activities and fun activities that you could be engaged in. And basically you meet like a friend group, the person you go to church with every Sabbath, the person you meet Sunday morning for prayer gardens, the person you know that you do school activities with, we go out and pray for people in the university.
But there was also the pandemic along with you guys being out not only in a strange land, but the pandemic happened while you guys were right while you were out there. Just getting adjusted to university life, and then bam, this weird thing just happened.
Right.
How did you
At
guys
that
deal
point, we were trying to come back to Belize, but we couldn't. We were stuck. So,
Tell me about it.
Government had arrangement, but we did not have that money on a student budget, so we ended up staying there longer. And then the cost of things went up on a student budget. That was
Yeah, but you know, with everything there, like, you know how you meet a group of people? We had that with the Adventist folks there. So you have people that would, you know, they just like give out groceries and different things like that. So we had to help during that time. They basically took us and they called us family. You know, wherever you find Adventist people, you find family.
That is for sure. That is for sure. You know, I had a similar experience. I am used to going to the US and spending time with family, but then I had to move to this place, and it wasn't a culture shock because I'm used to being there, but it was just being there alone. It's the word alone. No family, and then where I was at, you have to get in a car to go everywhere, so I had to order everything online. It's a difficult situation, so I can understand what you guys.
I think we all can relate, especially when it comes to food. Like,
hey,
you know you done used to your Belizean food and you know how you like it, and when people over there tell you about, oh well, this is how we make it, and you know you don't have your reasons where you could make your food and other people make your food, this that not how you forgot, but you know what, tell them, well, I'm not sorry for taste, but you know, and I
call it, because they say rice and peas.
Rice and peas. And then when you talk, we say rice and beans, and then they're like, no, the rice and beans. I can't tell you the amount of times I quarrel Jamaicans because they feel like they're right when they say rice and peas, and we have to say rice and beans. But being over there, I understand you guys were alone, but not so alone. How did you guys, depend on each other to, get through with things?
Well, Noemi was my roommate, so 24/7, and we took the same classes, so I always saw her, and I grew up, Noemi's always by my side, so, I felt comfortable.
Literally, from in the womb.
Yeah, I was comfortable with that transition.
You guys studied the same?
Same.
Yeah. Okay, wow.
And, just being there, like, together, like, I didn't have to do probably like my devotion by myself. I had Nomi to do devotion with in the morning. I had somebody to walk with to church on Saturday morning. Like, I always had that company with me there.
Well, I never had that. When I went to church, I had to go alone. I had depended on my roommate to at least help me around campus, but she was more this person that stays in her bed, and I'm not that kind of person. But I said, let me see how she do it for a minute, and then if I don't like it, then I'm just gonna go. Then when I realized that she just lay in her bed and literally watch Vespers online or watch church service online, I was like, this is not the vibe. I need to go and experience something else. So I went to whatever she was watching online. I went to
the live.
I went to the live version, and it was a different experience for me. But walking to classes alone, didn't know anywhere. It was the first day of class. I did not know where anything was, and that was the weirdest part to me. There was this one young lady though that she saw me and she knew that I looked very lost. And she asked me if I need any help, and I said yes. Where can I find this? And before she left that day, I made sure I knew where everything was before she left from in front of me.
Okay, so before we continue with our girls, we would like to remind you guys that if you would like to leave us a comment, if you would like to ask the girls any question in regards to how was their experience roaming in strange lands, you guys can send it. We already have some comments.
It's the twins in the group chat saying it's the perks to being a twin.
Yes, perks of being a twin.
Right.
They're everywhere with you. And also we have Hayden joining us saying good evening, guys.
Right.
Good evening, Hayden. Thank you for joining us. We have Miss Harvey, Mrs. Harvey on the line. Thank you for joining us, Miss Harvey, and also Junior and Jay, which are twins as well, saying it's a perks of being twins. And yes, if you guys can't see, then underneath you really get some thick glasses because they are twins. But on the show this evening, we are talking about roaming in strange lands, and these two girls were in Jamaica studying, and we are just learning more about their experience. So I have another question to ask. Being in a strange land, yes, how was it adjusting to the environment of the school? Because the school is not an Adventist school, so how was it, when they would say you have to come to probably take a test on Sabbath? Or was it that you guys had to come in to do something, one of your classes were on a Friday evening? Was it difficult when the university would say they are having fundraisers and it would, contradict with the Sabbath or anything of your religion? How was it dealing with that?
Well, for us, we always believe that if we stand up for God, then God will stand up for us. So like on our, the first orientation period when we were there were events that were happening on Saturday and we didn't go. We didn't go to those events and certain things that we did not participate in. And just by like our actions and people viewing us, that same orientation period I received a WhatsApp message for the Adventist group. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how did she know I was Adventist?
They never know us.
And I didn't say anything. And so from that first experience, we realized that, we have to stand up for what we believe in when we're there. And when it comes to like classes and things that were in Sabbath.
There was a class we were delaying. We delayed it three semesters because the class was Friday night, Sabbath, and it lasted up to 8 p.m. So we said, can't do it this semester, push it back. Can't do it again, push it back. Last semester we had to take it because we were in our final year. So we said, okay, we'll pray about this. God, talk to God and everything. And so Noemi said, let's just message the lecturer. She messaged the lecturer and he was like, okay, just make sure you take your notes. And we were like, is that easy? That easy.
Like, we could have done this 3 semesters ago.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a lot of experience where we saw that, God came through for us.
And for the influence, it was there. Like the exposure that we had in Belize and Jamaica.
If you never see it here, you see it there.
Yeah, just open up. So we could have, wild out, say, parents bar and everything, but when your parents train you up one way when you're young, you won't depart when you get older.
Killer, you realize that we get the top more than we friend over there? My friend is muted on my bed.
Do you have anything that you would like to say or ask our guest? Because it's true, I believe from we started, we have not heard from him.
Let me tell you why that's happening. Because everybody on that side of the set today had the privilege of leaving Belize for school. Kayla, you're still enrolled in Jamaica. Aislinn studied how many years in Texas?
2 years ago, graduated 2 years ago from Southwestern Adventist University in Texas.
Right. The furthest I've gone was the Freetown campus of the University of Belize. But
soon you go.
I look forward to the experience. Right. So I'm learning here. But I think, not only going outside of Belize is roaming in strange lands.
Yes.
Because we have a lot of graduates leaving high school right now, going to sixth form, and the high school and sixth form experiences totally different.
It's different.
I remember I had this teacher in high school, Miss Roberto, and she have a thing with her name, so we're not getting into that. She said, you say, I have the phone right now, now get that when I reach sixth form now. And I said, you're lying. When I reach sixth form, I get the same thing because of school, obviously. It was a lie. Because then you have to manage social time, you have to manage getting assignments done, being at class, taking effective notes.
Right.
So, leaving a comfortable environment is enough of roaming a strange land, not only going outside, I believe. But I want to draw a contrast to your experience being at a non-Adventist university to her experience being at an Adventist university, because Central American or Belizean Adventism is far different from the American one. Tell me a little bit something on that.
Well, it's a bit more free-spirited where I was at. Music. They go all out with music. But the school, I probably had different experience with music at the school where I was at, because the school where I was at was a little bit more conservative, because there were more of the whiter people in that community, more Caucasian people in that community. But when I got the opportunity to go to some of the people my color skin churches, it was lit. When I tell you, the music, the dancing, the everything. And not only that, they wear their jewelries and everything in that North American conference over that side where I was at. But the culture was a little bit softer where I was at, and the people are very, I don't know how to say it. They were welcome. I guess they were welcoming. They were welcoming, because I had a lovely experience where I was at SWAU, and my teachers were nice. The only part that I had to get adjusted to was when they would tell their jokes. You know, like when you tell your jokes and then there's a little Belizean twang to it. Well, I was a bit lost for a long time until I understood history. So I had to teach myself their history. I had to teach myself the name of things where they are around us. The highways, even the highways is the highway they would throw into a joke. And I had to learn all those things because I needed to understand what they are saying. Right. And so it was different from what they experienced, but I think it's probably similar in the way we felt when we got there.
Yeah, and one thing I liked about Jamaica was they have like Adventists by mass. So you go somewhere, it's like, you know, a group of people, a family, and we excited to go prayer and fasting. We excited to do this community service because you have the group of people. So that was always an encouragement all the time.
Maybe what was different for me, Jalen, was the fact that they had where I was at, they already came with their cliques. So everybody come from the same high school and be like, okay, we've been at this university together. So when I got there, they were like cliques. And I purposely sat by myself, and I sat by myself at the same desk every day. So everybody know that that's where I sit. Okay. And I would get there very early so that I can eat quickly and leave. But my first year, I said to myself that I'm not going to look for any friends, look for anything. I'm just going to experience by myself. And then afterwards, I'm going to after I get used to the culture and the community, then I'm going to get involved.
I'm glad you touched on that. So I'm going to extend this question to all of you here. What was the experience like making new friends? I know you guys said that you had each other, so you never really had to worry about no new friends. But what was it like letting down your barrier of being, you know, I just come here for get my education, succeed, leave. What was it like making new friends?
For me, making new friends, friends in classroom and things like that. I wasn't used to, you know, a big classroom with over 100 students or say 40 students. I wasn't used to that. You know, you just walk in and walk out, and you literally have to make extra effort to speak to people.
Yeah,
if you have group work, you have to make the effort to speak to people. And just doing that of making friends like that, they get to know about you, you know, they want to do a schoolwork on Sabbath. They say, oh, well, I can't do this because, and they learn about you, and that's how you learn about them. You become friends, and even in most of our time there, we spent it with Advent Fellowship as the Adventist group, and so we did a lot of things together. It's like
they were always roping us in with the activities. Like they reach out to us, so that was the beautiful part about it. And it was very nice because Jamaica, you have like, you know, in Belize you have different people from the Caribbean, but in Jamaica it's like by mass. So we met a lot of Trinidadians, people from Antigua, St. Vincent, and so we have friends all over now. Yeah, that was really nice.
That I can relate to the same thing because I was where they were. We couldn't, but I'm telling you, if I'm going to hang out today, I may even travel like 3 hours. Because they were like at the end, they were like in the city, and I was like in the middle, like way on the other end of the country. But where I was, it was easy for us because as she was explaining, they reach out to you because I can remember I was in a class one day, and you know, you sometimes you're new, so you keep to yourself because you don't want to feel like you're the tribe, you know. So someone came to me and they asked me if I wanted to go to church. So I said, because they were doing a missionary trip, and I told them, no problem, I don't mind. But me, I'm telling you one time, when they see my color, they know that I'm probably not from Jamaica. So it's like they come to you. Listen, I'm a name Miss Chinna Jamaica. I don't know whether it's Chinese, but I'm a name Miss Chinna. And that's the thing, when Jamaicans know that you're from another country, it's like they are welcoming. They go out, they reach out to you, they try to be friends with you because they love that. I'm friends with a Belizean. I'm friends with a Bahamian.
That's true. So many times they came to and said, do you know Kayla? Do you know Lyra? Do you know Cynthia?
Yes, it's like we're all the people that when I went there, they're like, do you know the twins? Do you know Cynthia? Do you know Lyra? Yes, Belize is small, so we do know them. So that was a good thing about it. They love being friends with international people.
Let me tell you how I met my first set of friends. My first set, yes, because it's 2 sisters. I was sitting there one day eating, and every day I sat there eating. There's a table that Cubans will sit at. All the Cubans sit at that one table. And I saw these 2 girls looking at me, and I'm like, why are they looking at me? Why are they looking at me? Please no come here. Please do not come over here. Bam, they're coming. They're coming. Bam. The 2 girls look at me and said, by chance, do you know a guy by the name of David? He's from Belize. I said, what are the odds? Cuba is a big place. Texas is a big place. Why these 2 girls asking me if I know David? I said, yes, I do know David. And I am from Belize as well. She said, oh, they were like, oh, really? You're from Belize, you know David. I said, he's my brother. She said, and they got all excited and said, David taught us how to speak a little English. I was like, oh, okay. Wow. Half the Cuban table knew my brother. And so that's how I met my first set of friends, by them recognizing me looking like David.
That is true because I can relate to that because I have a friend from the university and she's from Cuba. And when she came to me, they're from, oh, you're from Belize, so you know Joshua and Javier, and because all of them were studying in Cuba and she came from Cuba. So I don't know if it's because Belize is really small, so they just feel like everybody and know everybody.
Right.
But it's
Definitely.
true, we do, because they don't really got no Adventist, we don't really know when they travel abroad.
It's Junior in the chat saying, not you being an introvert. Junior, I am an introvert. I'm extroverted around you guys that are my friends. But guys, we do have to take a break at this time. And while we're on this break, we have 2 videos that we will be showing to you guys. So enjoy as we take this break.
There is no place like home. I'm grateful for the opportunity I had to study medicine in Cuba, return home, met and married my girlfriend, started working at KHMH, and lived happily ever after. The end. I wish. We got pregnant 2 times, lost both. Then the 3rd time we got pregnant during COVID. I thought I was being pranked. Then a couple months after, I got a letter stating I was accepted to go and study medicine. Again, specialized as an orthopedic surgeon in Guyana. But wow, where will the money come from, Father? Why now? Will my wife go with me? Where will we live? How will we afford to live? But then that small voice, be still, my son, and know that I am God. For I know the plans I have for you, declared the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. We came to Guyana, and God blessed us. We were able to find affordable rent. He has kept us with a steady support so that we can meet our monthly obligations. A couple months into my first year, my first son was born, Theodore.
Young people, yeah, all the way from the Belize North Mission, all the way from the Central Belize Mission, all the way from the South Belize Mission. Yes, young people, you know this is a cell phone, right? And according to what I received, it said, Jesus is coming, get involved, National Youth Camp 2022. Let me repeat again, Jesus is coming, young people, get involved, National Youth Camp 2022. When? Yeah, 28th to the 31st of July. We're in Progressive Village. Yes, Progressive Village. We're going to have a wonderful time together, young people. We want you to be there. Get ready. Register. Come and enjoy Jesus and enjoy friends. And so we're going to have a good time together. We are looking forward to have you here at the National Youth Camp. We're going to have fun together. Yeah. Come out, young people. See you at the camp. Yeah. July 3rd. This month that is coming up. Yes, July 3rd. Yes, 2022. We are having the Gospel Caravan, the Centennial Program. Oh, the Inter-American Division. We are celebrating 100 years. Yes. 100 years. Yes, the Belize North Mission. Yes, with Central Belize Mission, Southwest Belize Mission. We're going to be impacting humanity. How? Yes, we're going to be feeding many. We're going to be doing health fairs. What else are we going to be doing? We're going to be giving out literature. We're going to have a good time together. So all members, pastors, leaders, everyone, come as we join together for this gospel caravan that will be traveling all the way within the Inter-American Division. You got to be a part of it. Yeah, gospel caravan.
All my life, I've been dealing with projects. I do a lot of research. Basically try to understand how different materials affect fires. It involves a lot of formulas and gathering data. I met this girl once in grad school, and we got to talk about all kinds of things, and also about God. It was great. I could share with her what I believed in. And then I got busy with my own research and realized I may have treated her like a project. Like, I kind of expected her to change herself. But people are so much more than projects. There's some kind of human connection to it. I think we're supposed to share our lives with those around us, but sometimes just being with them, being their friend, that's the best way to find true connection. And that's what witnessing is to me, relationships and friendships.
my name is Alexandria, and today I'll be sharing a little about my experience living in a strange land. I've been living in Taiwan now for almost 2 years, and it is very different than living at home in Belize. But I'm very thankful that I was given the opportunity to come here. I've been able to learn about different cultures, different languages. I've met people from all over the world, and most of all, I've been able to accomplish my goal of getting my degree. It has not always been easy or smooth sailing, but God has truly been faithful to me. He has quieted my fears, put away my doubt, made everything possible for me. I just want to encourage each and every one of you watching or listening to keep holding on and keep trusting in God. Sometimes when we feel like He's telling us no, He's just telling us to wait. And we should trust and believe that everything happens in His time.
Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the videos that both David and Alexandra did for us just now. And today's Alexandra's birthday, so big up yourself. Happy birthday. I hope Taiwan is celebrating you today. We are enjoying this segment as we talk about being in strange land. I want to give a personal experience, and I'm not sure which one of them to give, but I think I'm going to go with the one when I actually needed a friend. I think I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to save the one when I needed money for another moment, for another time. But I could remember sit after eating in the cafeteria one day. I went to sit beside the flags, and I sat there, and the sun was setting, and I was just sitting there, and I said, "Man, Lord, are you really here with me? Because some days I feel like you are, and then other times I feel like you're not." Before I continue, for viewers, if you ever been in a strange land, if you ever been to a new place to study or anything like that, I would like for you to share your experience with us in the comments. Yes, so I was sitting there and I said, "Lord, I need to feel you. I need to know if you're here with me. If so, send me a friend." But I gave him a criteria for I want him to send me this friend. I'm not asking for a friend to stay for a long time, but I'm just asking for a moment, with somebody that sees me, and I know that he sent that person. So I sat there and I said, "Allow the person to put their bags on this." I was very specific now.
Oh, wow.
Yes, very specific that moment. I said, "Lord, allow that person to put the bag on my left, and allow her or him, whoever it is, to sit on my right." And I sat there and I said, I saw so much people passing by, and for some odd reason, everybody diverted, coming around the direction that would allow them to pass in front, that they would have to pass in front of me, and they all came on the other side of the walkway. I said, "Wow, Lord, wow, you really about to do this like this?"
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there and I was about to move, and I felt like a little force kept me right there, like, "No, hold on a moment." And so I sat there, and eventually I saw somebody come in, and I said, "Oh, is it this person?" And then the person walked back. I said, "Oh, wow, psych."
Psych in real life.
Right. And then I saw the person came back, but then they start walking towards me, and then it looked like they were gonna escape and go through the back and cut across the other way. But the person came and walked my direction. She dropped her bag on my right, like I asked, and she came over. I was like, why are you putting your bag there? And then she came and she sat to my left and she folded her foot like this. She got so comfortable and didn't say anything, you know. She got so comfortable. Then she looked at me and she said, are you okay? How are you doing? And I started to bawl.
Wow. Not in front of strange people.
I started to bawl because it was like, oh, and it was not that she sat there and asked me the question, but it was in that moment I felt God. I felt that God was there and He literally answered my smallest request. And I said, oh, He answered me. And I me feel excited. So I eventually told her my testimony and told her that I'm glad that she allowed God to use her. And she and if you heard her side of the story, she said that she felt like something was pushing her my way, like she needed to do something and she needed to do it now.
That's good. But first, before I really need to read Jeremy's comment. Thank you for joining us, Jeremy. He said was in Cuba and hadn't come home in over a year and began to feel depressed, and God helped me get over it. I mean, if you want a big friend, who better big friend than that?
Wow. Very interesting.
That's kind of help what you want. Right. So with Aislinn experience, do you guys have any experience being in the university where God came through for you guys?
Yeah, especially during the COVID period. So I'm going to speak about God as a provider. So the COVID time was rough for everybody, like financially, mentally, physically rough for everybody. And during that time, we got accustomed, being in the strange land in Jamaica, but we got accustomed to the people around us. And at the point when COVID came, everybody flew home. We're talking about a hall with 500 occupancy. We were Noammi and Noammi. Yes, everybody's like, Noammi and Noammi, aren't you going home? Aren't you going home? But we couldn't because the fee that government placed to come out, we couldn't, you know. So we said we'll just stay and wait. So, but anyhow, when everybody was leaving, they came to us and say, we have extra groceries left. You can have it. And that's because these people, they just bought groceries the day before.
You know, when students buy, they buy groceries for the entire month.
Wow.
So God was providing throughout that period. God was providing for my parents back home. They were able to support us during that time. And also on the spiritual side, we stayed in, like for that 3 months, like we stayed in on how we didn't actually go to church. And during that time, we learned to like do devotion, we Bible study.
A lot of praise and worship.
Yeah,
because we had a guitar with us.
Yeah, we had a guitar with us.
I saw you guys on Facebook playing.
Got more comfortable than the guitar.
Yeah, and sometimes some people would just come on the hall because we didn't expect people to be there, and they said, "Oh, we heard music, so we're just here."
Oh.
And they're like, "Oh, I know that song. Keep playing," and you know the process was really enjoyable. We grew closer to God throughout that time. Like in Jamaica, I got closer to God for myself. And so I really appreciate that experience because that has really helped me to be the person I am today. So God was providing, God led.
I think that stands true to the statement, God will never take you where He cannot keep you.
Yes.
Because sometimes God says, I need you to go there. And like
David.
Jonah, the name sounds similar. I know my characters. Don't look at me like that. Like Jonah would be like, God, but then people over there and this and will list all of the impossibles to God, and God said, listen, I'm going to ask you.
Just
go. We limit the power of God, not knowing that God have everything lined up for each of us, so we take the first step and actually go.
You know, I would say that my experience going to school was more faith-based. Okay. Because everything seems so impossible. Where is this 65% that I'm going to pay to school?
Excuse?
I didn't have that.
Wow.
I did not have that 65% before starting. I went in to do my interview for my school visa. I mean, they could have said no. I didn't have sufficient evidence to show them that I have this financial backup, you know. And so I went by faith and everything. God, I guess God came through. He had his way. Because remember, like I said last week, I prayed and I said, Lord, whichever school answer me first, this is the one that I know that you will be sending me to. So if you're sending me there, then I know that you will provide for me there.
And that's how you learn to trust, because we commonly want to see the whole plan,
Right, right.
every step of the way. But with God, you just have to trust one step at a time. You'll see God coming through.
And you know, when I heard your first testimony, the testimony that you gave, I was thinking that, you know, if we make our request known to God, God will, you know, he does not withhold anything good from us. And so, like, just with our experience, we only knew we were going to university the week before. Because God provided it financially for us. I was able to get a scholarship, and that's how I ended up at the University of the West Indies. It was something like, you know, you're graduating. I know a lot of students are graduating right now.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to go somewhere. You hear, oh, this person is going abroad, and this. And then for Noammi and I, we were like, everybody would ask us, you know, where are you going?
Like they expect us to go.
We have no idea where we're going, and we were praying, you know, because we wanted to go out and study. We wanted that experience, and during the entire summer months, nothing happened.
We were just relaxing
until the week before the university was supposed to, you know, open. I received that email about a scholarship that I received, and I'm like, this is where God wants us to be. That's how I knew that this is where, it's not something I chose for myself. God gave me the means, and that's how I went.
Listen, I see people the first week of school packing up. They already set up their dorm, you know, and they had to pack up their things to leave to go back home.
Wow.
And I said, Lord, please.
Don't make that be me.
Don't make that be me.
That's that kind of embarrassing, not gonna lie.
I mean, I felt the embarrassment for them, but I also felt the pain for them, because I did not want that to happen to me. And I mean, it could have happened to me any day. Let me tell you something. I went into the cafeteria and I was swiping for me, swiping for my friend, and I did not pay my school fees yet.
But
wow,
the thing
that was the fit. It was the fit for me.
It's always the fit, guys, and we have so many people giving us stories at this moment in our comments. Jeremy said, once I lost my $20 and found out when I reached the shop, and walking back about 30 minutes later found it on the ground. Right? Very good. You should have a B. Anyways, and I want to say 50K, they asked for too much. He also said, another time in Cuba, I lost my wallet filled with money for the month. You only like last money, Pat.
Why you not call last? Why you not last in my vehicle? Or close to my house?
Came back the next day and found it in the park still with all my money in there.
That's not God.
If that's God, you don't know what it is. He said, God watches over us even when we don't realize.
Right, very true.
Alani, thank you for joining us, Alani. She said, COVID time was when I realized there's nowhere better than hope, and that God is your only best friend. That time pushed me to trust God. When I heard the airport was closed, a lot of us were trapped. Why is it? I cried. Anyway, I cried too. My emotions and faith was played with, because you buy a ticket one day and by the evening it got cancelled. But when I finally touched down that day in Belize, I was so relieved. Even though I had to quarantine in Princess, I was home. That is true. I know you guys can share that experience of being there and coming back home. How was that?
We at least bought tickets 3 times. We went through that process 3 times.
Wow.
And so we were trying to come home from about May. Yeah, and we spent 3 months over that side.
You come back till October.
Yeah, we were really sad because, you know, we wanted to go home for the holidays so we could start back for the new school year. But I mean, God's timing is always perfect. We came back and then we had 3 days at home. And right after that, my dad passed. So we were really grateful at the point in which we came back that we had that time right there. So God's timing was just so perfect with it.
His timing is everything. His timing is perfect.
Right.
Jeremy says he sees and he knows and he's there. My guardian angel working overtime as always. Have to make sure he stays in shape because heaven knows I am not.
Imagine, you're right, hearing all these experiences. Imagine what Daniel.
You know what we should do? Belizean should write a devotional book. We should look into that because I feel like we have a lot of youths that have experience about God coming through for them. We don't have to wait till the GC or IAD say, well, give me a tree story for putting our book.
No, we should.
Yeah, you take a day, we can all write one 365-page book.
Okay.
Devotional.
So how about you write one, I write one, and everybody on this set write one. Jeremy write one. Alan write one.
Who else we have? JR.
Right. So everybody, our Ask Uno Finance devotions in our couple weeks. I'm not telling you.
At least you give time.
My publicist.
Right.
I have to speak with my publicist first.
I am going to come back and ask you guys because we are going to make this happen for us because we are always getting the ones from outside, but we have young people here that experience some things
and
we can
is better than having someone that is close to you, your Belizean friend, sharing that same experience that you probably is going through. And speaking of all this faith and God providing and being in strange land, it reminds me of the story of Shadrach and
the three Hebrew
Daniel
boys.
and his friends, right? They were captured and went to a whole new state. It was not by their choice, but they were also roaming in strange lands. And although they were there, their faith was tested because they were given things that they had to do apart from what the Bible was telling them. And they stand up for who they know they are and where they came from. And in the end, you could have seen that they were stronger and much more better than everyone that was there.
And where these boys were at, I could remember Daniel prayed to God. Daniel said, Lord, give me the wisdom, knowledge, and skill that I need. Because they were in a land that they didn't understand. They were new to the language as well. So it's like them going to Cuba to study. No, in their terms. So they were in a new land. So that's when they asked for the knowledge because they had to study over time to understand the language of the people that they were being captive at. And so they did not only ask for that knowledge, but for skill to apply. So, and I believe that all of us at some point in time, we had to beg God for that skill. I remember praying Psalms 100 and Psalms 119. Lord, you promised that you are going to make me smarter than my professors. I know it's not going to be literal, but I remember praying that prayer every day because when I used to walk into human biology class, man,
you may feel kind of low up, guard.
I may feel far. I remember the late nights, the ball over my science book because for the life of me, now what is it that this man want? And I remember memorizing the page. I got a study group. I studied by myself. I studied with other people. I studied, go ask for more information. So why am I not getting this thing right? So I cried and studied, and I still cried, and I studied, and I called my mom. She said, why her face look like that? I was crying because I am getting grades that I was getting grades that I was used to. I will not lie. I was getting grades that I was used to. But I was not paying that same amount of money, so I knew that something different had to happen. And so I purposed that I would do better when I reached to university. And so I remember praying that prayer, and God did come through for me. I think I got in the exam. I think I got the second highest. Impossible for me, but I got the highest, and I am grateful that I graduated straight A's all the way down. So teachers never want to give me 1 point for get me, for a B where I get, but that's fine.
We won't talk about haters.
We have another comment from Adrian. He said, in regards to the devotional, count me in.
That's right, Adrian.
Several testimonies how God led me during my academic life. I think all Belizeans can say that God led them through their academic life. It's a moments where if it wasn't for God, I would have entered high school or even have a career. Wow. It said, Kina and I weathered a hurricane in Cuba and we never have food. And a church sister brought us okra stew and two potato and cheese balls. So those are stories, guys, that we can put in our devotional. One's talking about academic life, talking about weathering through hurricanes, talking about living on campus during COVID time.
Listen, Kayla, I remember I needed detergent and money to do my laundry, and I had none. And I pray and ask God for detergent and money. And there was a couple. They were past students at the same school that I was at, and they understand the struggle of students. So they would go and buy stuff, get it on sale and bring it. And so I was walking one day from lab class. And I saw this little girl, and she was like, come here. I was like, is this a trap for human trafficking or something like that? Because this look human trafficking.
That kind of.
No, seriously.
No, okay.
Because sometimes in some other countries they send the children to lower the people to. Anyways, we're not getting to that. Anyway, so I needed the detergent, and the little girl said, come. And so the little girl said, you need detergent? You need softener? I was like, the same thing I asked. So direct. And so that is how I knew that God was there. Then the lady gave me $20 on top. I was like, oh, so we just out here giving stuff on $20. So I took everything that I needed. And then I got to do my laundry. But guys, it's sad that we have to always come to the end.
But before we go, do you guys have anything that you would like to share with? Because now that everything is getting back to normal, as some people would say, a lot of our students that will be graduating will be going out to universities. It's not only to say strange land in a whole new place. It's a university. It can be any university. It can be out as always. So do you guys have anything that you would like to share with them, to tell them, don't give up, just always trust God? Do you guys?
Yeah, just like in the Daniel story, Daniel was not quiet about anything. And so we have to be bold for God. And you don't even have to think far about going to a strange land, Jamaica or any other place. We have to think about where we are right now. We are in a strange land. This is not our home. We have somewhere else to be. And so if you don't have that opportunity to go out, to go study, then just do what you can for the Lord, with the resources that He's blessed you with.
Occupy until.
Yeah, and I'd say just trust God along the process. Like any plan that you have, just put it in God's hand, so that once God gives you that confirmation, you just go straight forward. You won't have to doubt anything. You just trust God and know that every step God will provide.
Sometimes you just have to take that leap of faith and just do it. Just go. Just go. They will send you back, but go again. Seriously.
I can't pull up the American border without a visa, does it? Keep it real.
We couldn't have said it any better at how these ladies did this on our show this evening, guys. And we want to thank you, ladies, so much for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you for having us.
We would like to have you back, so not get comfortable because we bring on our back. Comfortable home because we bring on our back. Yeah, right. So with that being said, guys, our last and final words, or co-host, do you guys have anything to say?
Like Noammi. No, I get it correct. I'm not sure. She said it. I think this is an LNG. It is an LNG White thing. Let your first work be to dedicate yourself to the Lord in the morning. Set your plans before Him and be upfront, like Aislinn said. God, I need this. Forget this, I need that. But I need you to do this to me too. And this is why I want to end up consulting God for your plans, because God wants us to come to Him and He will create the way, even if it's not how we thought it was going to be. But He will come through for us.
Okay, but before you say anything, I just need to say this because I say long time to JR. JR said, okay, Etienne, make these segments a little longer. 1 hour goes by too quick. We've been trying to say the same thing, but anyways, Alani said, one thing I would like to share with everyone leaving home and going in a strange land is a great experience. Make friends and trust God. He will either tell you yes, no, or wait. And if He don't give it to you, then He sees that you don't need it when you think you need it. Right. Thank you for sharing that with us, Alani. Your final words?
I would just say, take the leap of faith. Go. And I would say it again. Even if they send you back, go again.
Yes.
Go again. But don't give up on that dream.
Yeah.
God is going to let it come true for you at some point in time.
He will, and everyone here can and say that does happen. But with that being said, we have to come to a close now, guys. Sorry for, just that 1 hour, but time is time, and we would like to thank you guys for joining us. Be with us next week. It's our final on the graduation.
Right, it's final.
Yes, it's our final segment for the graduation month, guys. We'll be celebrating you guys that have graduated. If you know anyone or you yourself have graduated, send in your names and where you graduated from, because we will be celebrating you guys next week. And our final word is just take that leap of faith, but always trust God. Thank you for joining us.
See you next week.
As a non-profit organization, the Adventist Television Network solely relies on your financial support. By partnering with us through a monthly donation, you will help us to continue to fulfill the mission in taking the gospel into all the world. For more information, please call 613-9351 or email us at atnfin@cbm.belizeunion.org. Thank you for your prayers and support of the ATN ministry, and together we may hasten the soon coming of our Lord Jesus Christ.